Hello and welcome to this walkthrough of the Rise of the Mongols scenario on Deity difficulty level in Civilization 5. We're going to be doing this a little differently from some of the walkthroughs you may have seen on YouTube or guides that you may have read. This guide is intended for people who find this scenario miserable. I've seen people complain that it's just a chore and that it's you know the misery of -30, -160, -80, whatever unhappiness playing through that. And I agree. I don't want my empire to be unhappy. I want my Mongols to fight at full strength, or my Keshiks to fight at full strength whenever possible. So we're going to. It's just basically going to be a let's play, and we'll get right into it. I'll try to explain things and hopefully not over explain things as I go. Of course, we have the Keshik, Horse Archer that can move and attack, the Khan, which has 5 movement. I mean, all of our mounted units will have 5 movement, except for a knight if we get gifted one from a city state, and maybe we'll get lucky. Everything is randomized. Well, not everything. The map is the same every time you play this scenario. However, certain things are randomized, which you'll see in a moment. So I'm going to lock all these tiles to maximize gold production. I don't know if I don't remember if I came up with this or if I saw this in the guide, but it's very handy. You get 4 gold per turn by building the wealth process. We go down and we meet. We use the guy that's furthest out to meet Jin, and yeah. So he has shut up. He has 530 gold. He has 530 gold, and we want most of it. We're not going to be able to get all of it, but we want most of it. We're going to get 470 gold from him by selling all of our resources. So 530. What are you going to give me for that? 530, 470. That's what I thought. Good deal, my guy. Give me your gold. Okay. Now we're going to throw ourselves into the frying pan and immediately declare war. But it's not a big deal because we're declaring war on him early. And let's see, Western Shaobi which is like right down here. They are irrational, which is it's good that they're not hostile because we'd be more on a timer to keep them as an ally. So I'm about to buy them out. And the early in vanilla Civ 5, without Brave New World or Gods and Kings. I mean, it is also the case in the DLCs, but especially so in the vanilla game, you get a lot more influence the earlier you drop money on these city states. So we have them as an ally now. We're getting the 2 horses, and that's all we really want from them. Oh, and also they will build us military units every so often. And I would like to get a knight from them for the Western Theater later, but for now, no, we don't really need that. So let's start heading towards Beijing. Our existing Mongols, Keshik. This guy will probably head back for an upgrade. Again, we're on turn 0. Turn 0 is very important because we want to set our tech, masonry, because we're going towards engineering because we want to be able to move. We want to be able to use roads across rivers, which are bridges essentially. So faster we can get to engineering, the better. Generally speaking, we're going to probably get engineering by defeating Jin. And we may have to delay for a turn just to get that free tech because it's pretty important for the southern campaign in southern China. So let's upgrade this guy. But first, before we do that, I'm going to take the cheaper upgrade policy from honor. We haven't finished honor yet. We will finish it eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later. Right now it says 65 turns. It'll be less than that because we're going to befriend like a cultural city state eventually. I'm going to send this guy south because we want to go meet southern China as fast as possible. I want a pasture on this tile. I want this person to start building a road south to Beijing. We're going to pre-build the roads, which means build them in segments, but not quite finish them, just so we reduce maintenance slightly. So we're going to remove the wealth process and build a horseman. Try to build a horseman. And for that, we want maximum production. 5 turns is good. We want this horseman to come out. This is going to be our first captured unit. We want our existing units to try to get to become Keshiks as soon as possible. Yeah, okay. One movement left. Upgrade. So let's see, we have 3 Keshiks and 2 horsemen. We're at war, that's good. I think we've handled everything. Okay. Also, quick combat on, just because this will take forever without it. Never mind, I don't have quick combat on. I thought it must be per save file. I always forget how that works. I thought it was persistent setting across save files. Turn it off pretty soon here. So, Western Shah, they got rid of that scout for us, which is there's one sort of subtle component to this scenario, which is that, you know, there's, I forget how many cities exactly, but probably 9 or so, maybe 10. And you kind of want to fly under the radar. You don't want to meet civs too early. If you meet them too early, then they have a chance to see what a scumbag we're being. And they will either try to conspire to declare war on us, which, given the way we're going to play, is not really that much of a concern because they're not really strong. They won't be really strong enough to go up against us, no matter what. But anyway, so first things first, it's turn 1. We're going to remove this horseman from the queue temporarily. We're going to go back to building wealth. Let's see. We want our 4 gold per turn again. Right? Yeah. So I removed the horseman from the queue entirely, temporarily, because that increases the amount of tradable horses we have. This says, yeah, 5, but 2 are imported from Western Shah, which means we have 3 tradable horses. So we're going to do the same thing we did with Jin, and we want most of her gold. Okay. I don't understand why. Sometimes she will give more than this, and I don't really know why. I don't know if it's military strength near her border or what exactly, but 465 seems to be what I usually get. There might be some variation. Anyway, so we want her gold, and we want to declare war on her because now she's at war with Western Shah. Now, if she's at war with Western Shah, and Jin is too, they basically have permanent negative, not permanent, but they have negative 60 influence. So the reason I'm declaring war on both of these people is because I don't want them buying out my city states. And there's a really good reason for that. And that's because while I have Keshiks, they can build knights. So if they have access to horse resources, they can build knights. And I don't want them building knights. It's very bad if they build knights. So let's see. I want to take out this scout. Because I don't want them meeting any other civs. We really want... You really want them, all these civs, isolated as possible before you demolish them. No. Barbarians. They're an annoying distraction in this scenario, but you have to deal with them, or else they'll annoy you, basically. Okay, so we got Genghis coming this way. At least they give some gold. So the idea here is that's fine. Misclick, but I'll accept a misclick here or there. So now that we've declared war on, probably this is a bit scatterbrained, but there's a lot going on in these first 2 turns. So we want, I'm going to go back to building our horsemen. Yeah, 4 turns. Well, it's going to be 4 turns anyway. Maybe I could let the city grow. The thing is that you don't really want every city that you have that doesn't have a unique luxury is sort of an anchor around your neck, or whatever the expression would be or metaphor. And but we really do want Karakoram to grow. That may seem counterintuitive, given that we will have periods of unhappiness, slight unhappiness, but we do want the city to grow. So if I can get this in 4 turns, that's fine. I would like to expand to this tile eventually, but for now this is fine. I really don't. Yeah, this is like. I think this is max production. Okay. So what was this? Silver to yeah. Okay, that's just the deal I made before I backstabbed them. So the assault on Beijing will begin, and you see, she bought out Dali, or however you want to call it. So maybe I'll use this. It's in the neck. Meet Uyghur. So question is, do I want to buy them out? Don't know. Think about that. So on this mode, building roads takes 3 turns. So what I've been doing is just uh, I have a keyboard shortcut. I have a special mouse that has like keyboard. You can map keyboard keys to it. So basically, I just hit spacebar. You click on the spacebar. So I just want to keep track. I don't want to pay for this road maintenance ahead of before the whole entire road is clear, or as much as possible. Obviously, you would benefit from having more mobility here. In any case, at any rate, so let's see. It's a little bit tricky assaulting Beijing, because they have the Great Wall. So look at their borders. We want to poke at their defenses as much as possible without taking any damage. See, right now this is flat. This is flat. They could slam into me. So we're just gonna play it cautious. And I said I could have dropped 500 gold on Uyghur, but wait, I still have 500 gold. Oh, maybe no. I still need to upgrade this guy. I don't know. But Uyghur has 2 iron and 2 horses, but more importantly, they're a cultural city state. The thing is, I don't want to be in a situation where I run out of ally status with these guys and not have any gold to back it up. Now we will get gold for killing Gene, but yeah, let's post up here. Post up here. A little risky, but I'll post up here too. Let's see, Dali. Dali's like down here somewhere. They're a pretty irrelevant militaristic city state. You only get what's it, 2 spearmen or 2 pikemen for. It's probably just 2 spearmen for destroying them. Each, if you don't know, I'm assuming people who are watching this do know something about the scenario, but you get bonuses for destroying every city state. Like if I had captured Western Shah, like declared war on it, or if they were allied with Western Shah, I could have captured it and I would get 2 free horsemen. But these are I don't want these cities. They don't have any luxury resources. They're just a happiness drain at the end of the day. If we're lucky, maybe one of the people at war will capture this worker, and we'll be able to, recapture it and give it back to Western Shock. But I'm not. That's that's just kind of a bonus if it happens. It's not really something that you should count on happening. Let's see. Yeah, combat in vanilla is a little bit weirder. You can get. It seems like there's a lot more variation in the damage output that you get. I'm gonna move this guy down here. Do another road segment. So I have one turn remaining here, two turns remaining here. And eventually this person will get done and they will rejoin us. Let's see. Sorry, just thinking very carefully here. Okay. Somehow I haven't had a Lhasa declare war on me yet. Careful about how much movement I have left. Let's see. Yeah. Now I have. I don't want their scouts getting out and meeting Japan or anybody else in Persia or India. Okay, now we know where the city tile's at. This is a little bit slower going than I'd hoped, but doesn't really matter that much as long as you get started early. And as you may recall, we're waiting on this capture unit, but they'll be out next turn anyway. But it'll take a couple turns to get them into position. Like you kind of want them here. Maybe not. Well, either way. Okay, let's see. So I have a convention where I want the Mongols to be open terrain. Let's see, horsemen. Open terrain's fine. Eventually, you'll want. Let's see, Tatars. I like. Put them as like tartar sauce. I think of them as smooth. So I like open terrain. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but crate is like kind of harsh, so I want rough terrain for them. Eventually, let's see, Merkits. I think also Naaman's sounds kind of soft, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you have a blend of open terrain and rough terrain, it's probably fine. Let's see, so I don't want this directly here. I kind of usually angle this so that I can get a road to Beijing like along here, but also a road through Western Shock because it probably they almost always eventually ask for a road as a city-state quest. So if we and this kind of is like a minimal road there. It's a lot of road segments to get to Beijing, but yeah. Let's see, what do we have left to do? Shots on Beijing. I'm probably gonna have to reorganize on the next turn. So as you probably know, the Great Wall increases the amount of movement it takes for every moving into any type of terrain. So moving here and firing. Well, yeah. What do we do next? Well, we build another horseman. I usually end up paying for buildings. Building units. I suppose you could build buildings and pay for units, but I don't know. I just like doing it this way. Why can't I fire? I had vision. That was just a glitch. Let's see. Markets. Harsh terrain. Yeah, it takes 2 moves to get here, and 3 moves. It takes 3 moves to get here, and then 1. So it's 4 moves just to fire on the city, and by the time you get back, they're exhausted, so they're back on the hill. Let's see. Where do I want this guy? This is a relatively safe tile position because this is, I think, a forested hill, and they would need 3 movement to get anything through here. So even if they had their elements, and that's another reason you want to take Jin out early and really just don't show any mercy, because these, the race one, however you say that, elephants, these don't require any horses. They are super powerful knights, and he actually does, well, he has access to horse. It doesn't matter because he already has access to that tech, probably, or if he doesn't now, he'll have it soon. So you really don't want him to get strong. You don't want any of these AIs to get too strong. You want them more or less neutralized as early as possible. So let's see, if I put this, I think this is the tile I want a horseman on, because they have 5 movement. Yeah, so I'll just let Mongols take a hit for this turn. Where do I want this person? Probably here. Because they could either fire on the city or attack units. Okay. Let's stop that because there's 1 turn left. So all these segments have 1 turn left. Now I'm trying to not ignore this camp here. We'll get to it eventually. It's always anxiety inducing worrying about having known camps. It's kind of better when they're in the fog of war and you're not really, you can just kind of live blissfully knowing if they're gonna pop out at any moment. You don't know where they're coming from. Ignorance is bliss. That's what I'm saying. I think I'll have this worker. I'm gonna play cleanup. We'll have them finish the road segments that this worker is working on. I see they came out of the city. Well, they weren't in the city. The archers in the city. Either way, we're gonna get experience. You see, they didn't take much damage. Like, there's an archer in there, but they can't fire over this hill. So all I took was city bombardment damage, and these guys are pretty strong to begin with. And I had to take that spearman out. I think. Yeah, I think I did because due to zone of control, I would move here and then I would stop here because that spearman was there. So it may seem like a wasted turn, but I pretty much have to. I had to take care of that spearman. I don't know if they're smart enough to realize that, or if they just moved it randomly, but I probably should pay better attention to my usage of cons. Well, so can we move in further? I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I could put someone here. Yeah, fine. Move everyone in. When I say move everyone in, I you still have to be a bit cautious because there's also the possibility of forces from southern China moving in. Definitely been bit by that before. I get 2 gold. Get out of here. Let's see who got a promotion. Mongols. Okay, so we're working towards range and logistics, basically. Logistics first and then range. Okay. Move in. They're pretty much cowardly. Once I take Beijing, I mean, I will have the Great Wall in my possession, so that they won't really be able to do anything anyway. That said, I'm not sure if I have the damage. Well, we'll see. If I can't take the city, I don't want this person. I don't want this Keshik being in range, so we'll move them somewhere safer. Let's see. I need 2 damage. Got 2 damage. Okay. Take the city. Great puppet. Now, the Great Wall has 3 culture. So once the city comes out of resistance, even though it's a puppet, we'll get 3 culture per turn. An additional 3 culture. Well, it'll be a puppet, so it'll be less, but yeah, I don't know. This is what I meant by it doesn't really matter if you decide to take one policy tree to the other, because we're going to start stacking culture eventually. Let's try to stay out of the rough terrain. Okay. Okay, so now construction. Viet has declared war. Right, okay. One of the downsides of not completing army is we're not getting any benefit from kills, at least in terms of gold. Or any, I guess, any benefits, period, other than just accruing experience. But let's see. Swordsman, kind of dangerous. Let's get rid of those. I have enough movement to knock that guy out. Yep. Let's see, should I put them to heal? Wait a second. Add another road segment here real quick. So the Khan can get to the front quicker. We want them to help, because Khans have they'll help heal 2 HP per turn, which is pretty nice. Comes handy in a pitch. Don't always need it though. They already have 2 promotions, so everyone else is behind. Oh, except for them. Wait, they'll get it on the next turn. When they get blitzed, you'll be able to have they'll be able to like take a promotion at the same turn. So I think I'm going to stop micromanaging this road after this. They're going to finish this next turn, and that one the turn after that, and then yeah. No, I don't think I did not get a new worker out of this city capture, unfortunately. Also, there's something you should be aware of for you know, this mode of playing Civ 5, which is if you I know it captured the city last turn. You don't automatically get a garrison just because the unit's inside the city. So you have to hit this or hit F. And it'll give you a little bit of happiness. It's actually, I think it says, there's a bit of confusion when you play this stuff if you have Brave New World or Gods and Kings. It says local happiness, but it's a lie. If I had loaded the game with by turning off the DLC first, it would have, I don't know if it would have said this, but I don't know if local, either way, it's not local happiness. There's some deceptive things in the things that may surprise you. And one of those is that this policy does not exactly say what it's really doing, like in the scenario, because it's not what it does at all. It does decrease the cost of military upgrades, but also it provides happiness from walls. And one thing that may come as a surprise is that this happiness is actually global happiness. So that's one thing you can do to sort of amp up happiness later in the game when you have more money. Let's see, what are we going to do? So I think our next target is going to be Haifeng, which is this city south of us. See that are Lao Yang. Huh. I guess I didn't notice that they declared war on each other. She declared war on him. That's one of the random elements of this scenario. That sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. Don't really know the rhyme or reason of that, but it just happens that way sometimes. Now, if I moved here to finish this road segment, I think I'd put myself out of position the next turn. So I'm just going to let the... I was thinking maybe I could get more movement for this guy, but... So I'm going to have a rough terrain. Oh, wait. Do I want to catch it? Yeah, I want to catch it. So I'm going to move them as far as possible. So one of the overriding goals is to get... Basically, you start with more or less 5 Keshiks. You upgrade them. You start with 1 Keshik and you have 5 or 4 horsemen that you upgrade to Keshiks. So you basically start with a fleet or flight or flight as in beers or something. I don't know what you'd call it. You'd start with a squadron of 5 Keshiks, more or less, once you upgrade everybody in the initial set. And sort of the idea is to get at least 5 more Keshiks that are elite. You don't... It's tempting to just keep spamming Keshiks. But I found after a point, you don't... There's kind of diminishing returns on that. Because part of like how you utilize them is you need actual targets to train them on, and oftentimes they're just, if you have too many of them, there aren't enough targets as the scenario progresses. So Kaifeng, I'm going to take, and I think I'm going to raise it. I've kept it before. I'm entirely sure it was a good idea, but basically I kept it for the gold production. And I was trying something out with building a lot of trading posts within it, in its borders. And then the idea was to eventually raise it and then just like periodically pair those trading posts and then pillage them again. But I think it's kind of a waste of time. Let's see. We got that about half down. Silly Mongols still healing. So what now? We still have horses to spare. City hasn't grown yet. Build a... You start with a monument, granary, and barracks. Stable. These all have really long build times compared to a horseman. So I'm just going to build a horseman. Well, they're not really long, but some of them are double. I don't need a mint. I don't need just 1 silver. I've toyed around building watermills before. Some runs, but probably the only beneficial things to build would be a library or a temple for more culture, more science. It's really debatable. Generally what you want to do is you want to build horse units until you run out of horses. Yeah, this guy's staying here. Should I... They're at war with each other, so I think it's fine to post a guy up here. Did I use everyone? Yeah. The overriding goal is we want to get stupid pikemen. What do I do with this? What are you building? Farm. Okay. I'm going to use this guy as a garrison, most likely. I'll come back to that in a moment. Eliminate all opposition. No, it's tempting to hit and kill units, but I guess I have to do it anyway, just because they're kind of in the way. But either way, you get less experience from targeting units than you do from targeting cities, unfortunately. So, do I need both of these? You can Burn them for a golden age. It's usually better to wait. We're not really losing a ton of gold at the moment. We have some gold reserves, but we're kind of on a timer. We really need to take out Jin. So I did not get to shoot with them this turn, but we will next turn. Let's see, is this garrisoned? Yes. Okay, so another thing is that I upgraded this Keshik from a horseman last turn, which means when you upgraded a newly produced unit that had a promotion, had enough experience for promotion, you get to choose the promotion that's appropriate for this unit type. Because I upgraded to a Keshik before taking that promotion. I'm not stuck with horseman promotions that are useless on Keshiks for the most part. The only one that would be of any use would be like extra sight, probably, or extra movement. But it would take forever, and we only have 100 turns to do anything. See, so I like to. By the way, I'm also using the enhanced user interface modded, and I like to name them like Ashik, National Deshik, so that I kind of remember um, what order they were built in. I don't know. It's easy to keep track of them because the initial ones were named. I don't know enough about Mongolian culture to give them any meaningful names, so I really don't know. But Ashik, Beshik, Seshik, Deshik, they will all be coming down the pipeline, coming down the line. So sometimes it makes sense to split off and go this way, sort of pincer attack these cities. I don't really have any roads though. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. These guys are not really that dangerous. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this guy to um, squat on the tiles that I want. Like I'm going to move someone here, move them here so I can move my worker here. I don't think they'll move the archer here. I want to have access to these tiles so I can build roads on them. That'll only take a turn anyway. They already made peace. Okay. What do I want? Do I want to grow in 11 turns or I want to grow in 9 turns? Get no extra production, extra gold. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, so I lucked out. Nobody moved on these tiles I wanted. And for now, I'm going to send this guy. Well, I could send him to. I'll put him here. If I get a quest with a barb camp, maybe I'll send him off. The thing is that barb camps are not. They're not pushovers the way you might think they are with the way combat works in this pre DLC world. Some of these, I mean, they're actually some. I mean, melee units are even with the honor opener, which is well, I don't know if it's 33. I think it's still think it's 33%. There's still melee units can slam into each other, and you might lose that pikeman if you're not careful. Let's see. Still haven't gotten a new worker yet. Hopefully that'll change. Cities down to so they declared or they made peace, so I don't have to worry about them. I mean, it would be nice if they captured Kaifeng, honestly, but or would it would help me raise it faster. Let's see, get these guys on the road. Sort of a critical mass of Keshiks here. We're not paying that close of attention to promotions just yet. Lhasa, okay. Lhasa is like down here in the mountains, basically. Create level 2 promotions. Okay. Let's see, we're getting 5 culture? How are we getting 5 culture? 5 from buildings, 2 from policies. Why are we getting... What? Oh, we're getting 2 culture for the garrison. Yeah, that's another... when I said stacking culture, yeah, that's one of the advantages of honor. I mean, that's another way we're going to get culture, and we want as many policies as possible. Get Kai Fing's on its last legs. Oh, let's see. Okay, so can I move our guy and take this? I think so. Let's see. Is this safe to do? 1 left. Okay. Yeah. Uh, raise it. And you can see we're unhappy right now, but it doesn't affect our combat. It shouldn't anyway. Yeah, we do a combat prediction here. Yeah, we're not getting any combat debuff. The tricky part here is these rivers, these river tiles. We can't use these as roads. We'll lose all movement if we cross here. If I stop here, I'll take hits from that. We don't really want to take hits from anybody if we can. Let's see. So there's a city over here. And this city has sort of a pattern that you use to take it out to move the Khan into place. What was this? Barricade? The only real buffs you get for hitting cities are from Khans, and there's a siege promotion too. In there's a siege promotion as well in Vanilla Civ 5. This is their last city. One city. I'll post up here. The thing is, we still have 5 turns until construction, and construction is the only prerequisite for engineering. I kind of don't want to take that city just yet, but we'll send some. Well, I guess we'll let these 2 work on it. What else do we want? Anybody else to work on that? It might go down too quickly if we. Hmm. I guess we'll let some of these cross the river. We'll send them in for a temporary garrison. Gets more culture. Um, Send the general across. Genghis across. Yep. Others across. So yeah, you can see we're splitting our army slightly at the moment. Not ideal, but we want to be. Yeah. Okay. Now they don't have a melee unit in range to take the city anyway. But and again, we have the Great Wall, so we're not. Even if they had one like right here, it's still going to take 1, 2, 3 turns to get into position to even think of taking this city. Let's see, take them out here. Oh, okay, I didn't need to bring them up. Okay, the city is temporary. Back off so we don't get Chukanude. Them in as a garrison. You do not want to upgrade these. You need a capture unit, so what did I just do? Oh, I got a new worker. Can I put them to sleep preemptively? I shouldn't have. So we need them to come up here and finish the road. Yeah, or help finish the road. Yep. Getting some border expansion here. Wait, what was that? Jin announces that it's protecting Dali and Dalviet. Okay. I was wondering if they had said anything about Korea, because Korea's a city-state over here. Can't see it yet, though. So I brought them out for nothing. Ashik and Naimans will be hammering Lao Yang. Take them out in some number of turns. Now we are, of course, on a timer, so we can't lollygag. No. Being OCD about the roads, but its initial roads are kind of not that important, but it's nice to get them out of the way. So do I want to Keshik? I think I do. He will be dubbed Beshik. No, that doesn't mean they're the best Keshik, it just means they're Beshik. How many horses we have left? 2. Dipping into the Western Shah supply now. Eventually we're going to want some swordsmen. And eventually we're going to want some long swordsmen as well. Another interesting, well, good thing to know about buildings when you're raising cities is that these are 100% capture chance. Coliseums are, and theaters, or what are called zoos in the DLCs. So when your city has these, if you capture a city with this, and let's say somebody else captures it, you're guaranteed to get this back. So let's say that I sold this to, well, another civ that I haven't met yet. But if I had met them, I would know that it would keep this Coliseum. So it will only hurt my happiness to sell this Coliseum right now. Once the city gets down to population 1, I could sell it. For now, it's not really any point. Other than I would get 1 gold per turn back. And I'm starting to hurt 1 gold per turn, but it's not so bad yet. So what do we have down here? Any military units? There's a road through that, so something could come flying out at us from here. Something with 2 movement, 2 total movement could come flying out. So you really don't want to be too close to roads with your Keshiks because they can get ambushed with things coming off the road. Okay, so go back to working on Lao Yang. Again, we're getting that culture, happiness, helping us a bit. 3 turns for construction. They demand incense. That's hilarious. You can't really get incense in this scenario unless you found a new city, which we are not going to be doing. So, yeah, 2 promotions on them back that way. And when you put them in as a garrison, if they have some movement left, it automatically like kind of scrolls away from them, which is kind of annoying. But that'll come up later in dealing with India, most likely. Beshik, I'm trying to keep these balanced so we have, open terrain. Ashik was a rough terrain. Yeah. Okay, so let's move this guy here. Move this guy here. Start a road. Start a road. We'll connect Beijing. Connecting Beijing is not really going to generate much money, but what it will generate later is happiness, because we're going to go down the liberty path. We want to get to meritocracy as soon as possible. Like, we want to finish this first, but then we want to start moving towards this. Then eventually we want to get to piety and get, well, again, I'll probably make a cut and reload this with the proper text, but it is basically the first left-hand policy in piety grants 1 local happiness from both monuments and temples. I think even opera. I don't have to go back and look at it, but either way, it's a lot of happiness, and it's very tricky to get all of those policies in one run, unfortunately. But we're just going to start picking off for cities one by one. We're already back into positive happiness, but that will not last long, because there's a lot of crappy cities the first to burn. Now, there may come a point where I opt to make peace with her, because sometimes she gives you a nice, juicy peace deal with a lot of gold, and I may take her up on that. Let's see, who needs the most help? I don't think we're going to take Lao Young out quickly enough without a little extra help. And also I think I'm going to make this next one a capture unit, because we already are stretched thin on capture. Like, we need a unit up here to capture Lao Yang probably 2 turns from now. Yeah. And we're going to need some units for capturing down here. Some melee units for capturing. So, let's see. Everybody fired? Yep. It sucks not having Kesh. You always want more Keshiks, but sometimes it's just not. Sometimes you need other types of Jeez. Yeah, okay. I'm not technically working that tile yet, but it'll be annoying to have to send a worker to recruit it. So I'm going to send pikemen to deal with that. At least they're not coming for the silver. Or the horses. That's where it gets annoying. I can't really afford to buy a unit right now. I should probably build some archers after I'm done with the Eshiks. Don't know yet. Well, the more exciting theater is, are we gonna get the timing on killing Jin right? Let's see. It's forgivable to be like a turn late, wiping him out. I can deal with that. This is really annoying. I'm gonna come through here. Also, we need to capture unit in position. So let's see, can we do this? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Fortunately, it leaves us without a capture unit down here for the moment. And that's 3 turns out. It's not ideal. I don't know. 1 unit per tile rule kind of makes things cramped sometimes in this game. I don't really want them on the road. At least I don't want them right on their border. I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but one reason to ally these city-states is to deny the AI horses, because they can build knights, and knights hit hard. They're like 20 strength or something, like 22 maybe even. They only have 3 movement. They hit hard, and they could one-shot Keshiks under the right conditions. And you do not want them hitting your Keshiks. It's not really a good enough deal. When I said a good deal, I meant like really high gold per turn and like 1,000 gold. We met Gandhi. Well, we got construction somehow. I don't think a warrior is really dangerous for me, but this dickhead might be an issue. You see, I lost, even though we have a bonus against these guys. It's only gets 25% bonus. I still, pikemen are also weaker pre-DLC, but still, I took 4 damage. And again, well, I didn't explain it, but the HP is not on a 100 hit point scale pre-DLC. It's on a 10 hit point scale. So it lost, 40% of its health just from one attack. They could attack back, and I don't know if it would. I mean, it wouldn't kill this unit, most likely. It might, though. I don't know. That's what I meant. I think I tried to say earlier. It's really iffy. Pre-DLC. You kind of you have to outnumber them and use flanking bonuses to be really safe about such things. Pre-DLC. And I think that maybe that is why you would see that kind of behavior in post DLC, when they send out barbarian camp hunting parties, and you'll see that they'll bring like 3 or 4 units, and I wonder if it's just sort of like vestigial from when the game was like this, because they really are dangerous. They really can be. Okay, so we got that coming in too, and we're kind of stuck down here at the moment. We can hit cities, but we can't take them yet. Fortunately, he needs a promotion. Markets will get that. Not give them. Oh, I guess I was already at 1 HP. Now, another irritating part is that we're going to lose the Great Wall here, because this is going to raise next turn. I may as well sell this Coliseum. See, we only lost 1 happiness from that. But it is what it is. Let's see. So I'm not going to work on engineering. I'm gonna work on, let's see, do I want sailing? Do I even need sailing? I kind of doubt it. Well, yeah, just sailing real quick. Eventually, we're going to need boats for Japan, or at least it makes things much easier to have things like caravels and, more importantly, frigates. They're both good, but frigates are way better. Um, I've seen some people that they just want to beeline rifling, which yeah, that's good. Japan's pain, and rifling certainly would help, but I really don't like going for rifling because it means barbarian units start showing up with rifling. But then again, it's also like right at the end of the game, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much. It's revealed a little bit more territory. Do I want to stay here? I guess this is fine. They send a unit out, it'll suck, but what can you do? Okay, who are we firing upon? Just jack off. Of course, it didn't die. We do get culture from killing. Like 6 culture. Yeah. Finish this road. Let's see. So I took this guy out to get, and he's been out for 3 turns, roughly. So we lost the culture that it's about, it's not really a loss. Now, hopefully this guy does not pillage my silver because, well, the AI, it seems like the barbarian AIs function a little differently in DLC. So I'm gonna move this guy down here to try to start getting a road through here. This river. It's a river tile here, right? Yeah. Through here, and then probably we're going to connect to the Silk Road using Western Shaw's territory. That's the idea. It's the most economical way. If we get new troops, they'll basically, we won't need to build a road this way. We'll just build it here to connect Beijing. We'll use as much of Western Shaw's territory as possible to build. You can even build redundant roads through most of this, but for the sake of time economics, it makes the most sense to just build a road here because we're going to need to build more roads down to Delhi later. Okay, so now we're a bit exposed here. Oh, this guy's standing on our silver. That's why it's going to take another turn. Okay. Well, either way, it'll be worth it to take care of what's his face? What's his troll face? It's not Ramcom, but I don't know. Maybe it's a cosplay or something. Let's see. So I can get that in 1 turn. So I'm going to quick save because there's a bit of a quirk with running this with enhanced user interface, and that is that if you, how did it go? If you have enhanced user interface, I think there's a possibility that I'll be forced to annex the city or raise it. I'm trying to remember what the. I'll be back after a cut.